We're also now joined by Amit Dixit of Edelweiss, to talk a little bit more about the commodity space and the rise in steel prices in particular. Amit, thanks so much for joining us. Just to get a sense from you, first and foremost, the kind of trend that you see panning out when it comes to those steel prices.
Yeah, so we are seeing, of course, that the steel prices in the country have kind of bottomed out. If you see, we saw a very painful phase of 21 successive weeks of price decline. I'm talking about HRC prices over here. And then in past 6 weeks, we have found some kind of a recovery. Now, in my view, what happened that stock prices, if you look at them, they bounced back in Q2 and Q3 essentially, and the spreads are expected to bottom out in Q3. So overall, what we see here that the prices definitely are on an uptrend as far as flats are concerned, but the only impediment here is the South Korean and Japanese price, and currently our domestic price is running quite close to these prices. So essentially, unless these prices go up, your South Korean and Japanese, we might see a limited upside in the flat space. It's the long space that is more exciting to me at the moment, particularly because if you look at the secondary rebar section, that is the medium players, small players, so they have taken good price hikes and the price hikes have sustained. So in my view, while prices should increase for both the segments, but longs would easily outperform flats here.
Okay, do you actually see, a further up move coming in for some of the commodity stocks next year, given that global growth may be likely to soften as well going forward?
Yes, see, on the other hand, if you look at it, a lot of macro factors have eased off. So I would say that 3 factors over here. The first one and the foremost is the dollar index. So dollar index has clearly peaked out. That is positive for commodities. The second thing is on trade wars. So, we have made some progress, and progressively the news appears to be better. The third and the most important point in commodities is China. So a lot of people were expecting a hard landing, that Chinese consumption will nosedive. In fact, what we have seen in case of ferrous, that the consumption in fact has increased. However, in case of non-ferrous, there is a little bit of worry at the moment, and that is what is getting reflected in base metal prices as well. So in case of commodities, I see ferrous on a better spot as compared to non-ferrous. So while global slowdown definitely is a concern, is a risk, but I believe that the macro factors getting increasingly favorable mitigates that concern to a large extent.
Also wanted to understand, just on the point that you're making, because global commodity prices have started rising and one has seen Indian stocks also rising along. But do you really think that the metals pack has further legs and further steam, the stocks in particular?
Well, yeah, certainly, if you look at these stocks, again, you have to be a little bit discerning here. You should not paint everything with the same brush. So there are stocks that can give you good leg up. For instance, there are 3 stocks in particular that we like to recommend at the moment. The first one is Jindal Steel and Power, in ferrous space, in non-ferrous Hindalco, and in mining NMDC. So these are the 3 stocks that show good potential at the moment.
All right, Amit, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.